Last time, we dished some of the secret ingredients to digital marketing. Paid search. If you're not using it yet, you should definitely be using it, especially if you're doing B2C during the holiday season. Check out this quick clip with further details on what you can do to be as effective with your digital marketing strategy as possible.
We both work in digital marketing, which is why we have connected. And I started connecting with you originally because of SEO.
Yes.
And not just SEO, but Google AdWords.
Yeah.
We have been working together with a client that it was a learning experience. I think we both learned a lot from it. I learned a lot from it for sure.
Definitely.
But so for me, AdWords is such a big deal because it promotes accessibility for people who are searching, who don't have time to go through all the results, It levels the playing field as well of people who maybe can't afford a $25,000 website and a keyword analysis on there so that they can do the AdWords and pay-per-click. So what are your best practices for developing an effective AdWords strategy? Do you have any?
Yeah, no, for sure. So I think that's a great point you make. So Google AdWords rebranded into Google Ads. I guess it was an easier name. And basically, ad networks, so whether it be Google or Facebook, they're largely used for like a faster return for people, right? So search engine optimization is a process that takes a long time, a year plus if you want to rank organically on Google. So a lot of people go to ad networks like Google Ads to try and get exposure and business at a much faster rate. With that said, there's still optimizations and things you do over time. So the first thing I would recommend when it comes to Google Ads is just keyword research, right? So finding what are the keywords you want to be associated with when somebody types that into Google. Now, the typical process for that is, Google Ads is pretty expensive nowadays. So like any ad network, basically the costs increase with demand. So as there's more players, more people in it, you have lots of competition, those click costs are increased. So what I typically do is I figure out, okay, what keywords make sense for a business. If you're paying $50 for a keyword and the product or service you sell is $200 and you have a small profit margin, you're losing money, right? So you need to understand, what it costs to acquire somebody and then work around from there. So if the cost of acquiring someone's $50 and I sell a product that's $500 and I come out with a $200 profit, I'm happy with that, right? So you have to try to break down those numbers and build out the keyword list from there. And then once you find those keywords, you want to do a bunch of different things. So one of the biggest low-hanging fruits, if you will, on Google Ads would be the ad extensions. So that's kind of spicing up your ad copy largely. So those are things like incorporating the phone number in the ad, site links. So if somebody sees a certain component of your website that stands out to them, they can just click that and go straight through the website. And these things don't cost money, right? So they're free and they just spice up your ads. So
I don't know why people don't use them. Why don't they use them?
I think people don't know. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, or if they know, they're just they're questioning if they're going to do it right, or some people, I see them all the time. So build out your keyword list, figure out what your ad groups are going to be segmented into. So you want to make sure there's granularity. So you want to make sure that the keyword somebody puts into Google is in alignment with the ad copy itself, and the page you send them to has to be relevant to that as well. And that's largely what defines quality score on Google Ads. So every ad network has a score like this. So LinkedIn ads, Facebook ads, Google ads, they all have a score assignment. And the basic reason that exists is because if you think about it, if everybody was typing things into Google and all the ads were irrelevant, then the ad networks, it's not working. So basically Google rewards you for having a higher quality score. It's out of 10. So the higher that is, the lower your costs are on clicks. So you want to make sure that your keywords are right in alignment with the query or what somebody puts into Google, and that your ad copy contains those keywords. And then when they go to a page, landing page or your website, you want to make sure that those keywords are on that page as well. And then that flow, the user expects something. I know you're a big user experience person, so
Yeah.
the user expects something, and you want to make sure that the ad they click and then the page they go to is exactly in alignment with what their expectations were, right?
Yes.
And once you satisfy those three variables, that's a huge component of Google Ads in itself.
So, when those automated emails that you get from other SEO companies that are trying to pitch themselves, their biggest sales tactic right now that I've realized is negative keywords. They'll say, hey, I looked at your AdWords account and I noticed that you're not using any negative keywords. Can you give us a little update on what that means and why it's important to use negative keywords?
100%. Google Ads will take your entire budget and spend it in the worst ways possible if you don't do that. And I've seen it many times. So basically, if you don't, and especially, so it depends on your match type. So there's different match types. I won't get too into detail because it might throw some people off. But basically, the keywords you put in and the match types associated with the keywords open you up to all kinds of different queries. So you could be wanting to rank for flooring company, and you put that keyword in as a certain match type, but technically what comes before or after flooring company could be a huge difference. Flooring company guide, flooring company tips. Well, those keywords might not be likely to derive business for you. So that's when negative keywords come into play. And there's typically, specific keyword groups that are common. So like free, cheap, and then there's the educational side that you want to prevent against. So, people looking for guides, do it yourself, courses, because they're less likely to be buying, right? Their intent is different. So you want to prevent against those because they can be very costly at the end of the day. So a typical practice that I would do is I would look at search terms. So you can actually see what people are putting into Google, and then when they click your ads, what they put in before they click them. And if you see all these terms of, people looking up free or guides or, jobs even, somebody looking for a job, they're not trying to buy your service. They're trying to look for a job, right? So you want to make sure you incorporate those negatives in there. And that's just search term analysis that you're going to be doing to do that.